Welcome back to the Burnout Bobby YouTube channel. In today's video, the last piece for the Duke. This is the last thing. You always say it's the last thing for something, like it's the last time I'm doing something in my car, it's the last time I'm putting parts into the ruckus or Grom. It never really is, but in my head right now, I'm convincing myself it is the last thing I'm doing to the Duke. Here we have the Powertronic Ecu. This is their plug and play ECU setup for the 21 Duke that I have. They have them for all the other model Dukes. They have it for the Husqvarnas, I mean Yamahas, Hondas. They got this setup for all different types of bikes. This is a plug and play setup, super easy install. Just like if you haven't seen the FuelX install that I did for the Powertronic, that took me no time at all. Super quick install. It's gonna be the same thing with this. It comes with a labeled harness. So as you see here, it has all the plugs on it. Now, unlike the FuelX, which only goes on one side of the bike, this will connect to parts on both sides of the bike, so I'm gonna wire it a little bit differently. This is the ECU port right here, where the ECU plugs into. Again, super pumped about this. The FuelX cleaned up the bike tremendously. Now with the ECU, it should still be the same cleanliness when it comes to riding. And on top of that, you're gonna be getting a little bit more power out of it. So this is gonna be a big difference from stock going to this setup. This ECU comes with 2 maps on it. It has like a street map, which is regular everyday street driving, and then it also has a race map. So you know right away your boy's going right to the race map. There's no questions asked. Also, if you go on their website, they have downloadable maps. So you can go to Powertronic ECU website, put the link in the description. When you go there, you click on your bike, and then they'll have downloadable maps. You can download that map. The kit here comes with a cord, the plug-in from your laptop to the ECU, and you can load your map into the ECU, and boom. I've seen other YouTubers who have put maps together, because you can also go in and adjust all of the settings like you would with other like standalone fuel units for cars, and they've made their own maps and are giving away their own maps for free on YouTube. So the options for this are endless. Like there's so many different variables that you can do with this. This right here is the ECU unit. That's what you're gonna have plugged into the harness there. It has a little green and red light showing if it's on and getting power. There is the port for you to download the maps and put them into the ECU. I know there are other guys who have taken this to a professional tuner and had it dyno tune using the Powertronic setup. So they're, like I said, endless options. Now, Powertronic said that I could use this ECU with the FuelX unit. So that is an option. If you are wanting to do both, you can adjust it even more on the fly with that FuelX. Right now I'm going to remove it and just do just the Powertronic ECU because I want to see what the difference is personally for myself. We're going to go ahead and start taking off the panels. I already showed you this in the FuelX video, so I'm going to cut that scene and I'll get right to the wiring. Okay, so I have the harness laid out like this. I have the ECU clip along with the type 1 tune and 2 tune on there. The ground wires in the back here as well, which is fairly long. I might shorten that up because it's just going to go right to the negative of the battery. I have the harness here, which eventually I'm going to run under this bar. You can get to it from an Allen head under here and here. This will raise up. It goes over that in the Powertronic instructions. I'm going to try something out here where on both the one bolt here for the tank, I lifted up the back of the tank. I ran the throttle position sensor cable through here, down along, and when plugged it right into the throttle position sensor. Each one of the clips will show you exactly what kind of clip it is to release it. That's the nice part, and it matches the colors of the ones on the Duke. So I went ahead and plugged in the throttle position on this side. On the other side, I have the injector, I have the quick shifter sensor, the CKP, and then this one should be the spark plug. So now on this side of the bike, I'll go ahead and start plugging these all into their counterparts. Once I get that all done, I'll show you exactly what's going on. I'm really hoping that this tuck under a gas tank doesn't affect anything. There's a nice channel underneath here, right, that you can put the looms. That's where I ran the wires underneath this little channel here. The only issue I see is when it comes out underneath here, it may raise this up too much where the bolt might not reach. That's my only concern right now, so I'll worry about that when time comes. If I have to pull this out from underneath here, I can maybe have it come out of the channel right here and just lap over and then run it along the airbox lid. We'll start cracking on this side and I'll come back once I have it all plugged in. Okay, so for the wires, I don't know if you can see back where my finger is, there's the injector clip. So you go ahead and plug that and then use the female and male provided to have that plugged in. You have another plug right here which has the like transparent clip. You're just going to plug the male and female in for that, very simple. And then you have the coil which has the plug for the male and female, again for the harness. So that's all set. The quick shift sensor, I believe, is for the Powertronic quick shifter. If you run that, I have the factory quick shifter on there with the KTM remap on it, so I'm not certain if when I put the ECU on it's going to eliminate that and I have to go with the Powertronic quick shifter. That's something I'm going to have to figure out when I'm riding. In the meantime, I'm going to have everything else buttoned up. I will leave this kind of tied up underneath until I figure out what I'm going to do with that. Otherwise, it was a very easy install, not bad at all. For the harness on Powertronic's site, it shows that you can unscrew this here and then run the loom around the airbox like so. So I may do that just to keep this from being on top. What I'll do first is get the coil buttoned up with the ground and everything. I will plug the factory map into this and then go ahead and prime the ignition. Okay, so now I have it all, like I said, plugged in. It's loose, I haven't tied up anything yet. I have this is what they'd call the stock map. So whenever you want to go back to the factory settings, you have this plugged in. So I have this in. They say this is the best way to use it to know if your harness is working and everything's plugged in. So you see it's going to say injector power. That's going to be flashing green, showing the injector is getting power. Spark power is going to be flashing green because that's going to be getting power. CKP and TPS, the next two lights, those will be flash. They'll go up with RPM, so you might not be able to see it at idle. And then over here, 1 through 4 is for the amount of cylinders you have. So if you only have one cylinder, the injector and spark light are going to flash red right there. So we're going to go ahead and test this out, make sure that I have it wired correctly before I install the ECU. Okay, so ignition on, I have the spark power with the kill switch taken off. I now have injector power, and I'll go ahead and start it up. So I have power going to injector, spark, and then I saw the CKP light up a little bit. What I'll do now is I'm going to remove it. You do that by just pulling out on this purple latch. And you're going to hear it snap, and then it's going to disconnect what's going to be considered your now stock ECU setting, or your stock map. So whatever you do, keep this. Because if you ever for some reason want to go back to the stock setting, or you change something on the bike, or you want to go back to stock parts, this is going to put you back to the stock map, so you don't have to take the whole harness out. Definitely a plus to hold on to. So now what I'm going to do is take the Powertronic ECU, plug this in, and then we'll go ahead and start it up. Now, with this you get the two maps like I was saying. So when these two are unplugged, it's considered race mode, and then when you plug it in, I think it's called race plus. So race mode is supposed to be low to mid range, I believe, for the power band, and then race plus is a little bit more aggressive. It's going to be from bottom end all the way up. So of course I'm plugging this in. I want power all the time. I'm going to go through the bike now, double check everything, make sure all's plugged in, it's secured. I'm going to zip tie everything up, and then we'll go ahead and take it for a ride. Alright, so what I just did is I let it idle for 15 minutes and 30 seconds to relearn the idle. I think it's what I saw is that it does that for the throttle position sensor. So now you don't touch the throttle, just let it be. 15 minutes, 30 seconds, walk away, get some lunch, and then come back, and then you can turn it off. So now after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and tuck all the wires. Alright, so I have it now in the Race Plus mode still. Just going to take it for a little spin. The throttle seems really good. Same thing as like when I had the Fuel X on there. It's not as glitchy or, you know, pulling you back and forth. It's still really smooth with this on here. So what I had said earlier is that this ECU will do the quick shifter. Well, that's if you have the Powertronics quick shifter. If you have the Powertronics quick shifter, it will bolt right up to that. Because I already have the factory quick shifter unlocked, that's what I'm currently using, and it still works. I just tested it out. But if I didn't want to pay for a KTM to unlock it, then I could do the Powertronic one, and then that would plug right up into the ECU. Wow, that feels so smooth. The bike even sounds a little throatier. I like that. That was definitely an improvement over stock, even over the Fuel X itself. The torque just hit right away. It didn't like lean into it like you normally have, where it just kind of has a little delay and then it picks up. This one really just picked right up. I like that a lot. So overall, install easy. Alright. Fairly easy to install, like I just said. Allowing it to sit for 15 minutes and 30 seconds for the idle to adjust, and I think that's for they also have it for the throttle position sensor. Not bad. Just let the bike idle and then take it for a ride. I have just like I said, the two maps that comes already on that you can switch between, but then you also have different map options on the website, and then there are other people on the forums and on YouTube that I've seen who have created maps for this that you can load into your Powertronic ECU. So definitely worth it. I mean, for the price, hands down, it's the way to go. And I'm sure you could probably even take it to a dyno tuner and have them really fine tune it. Because I'm not sure what the air fuel settings are on this, but I'm pretty sure as a business they make it still pretty safe for the customer, because they don't want to be, you know, negative responsibilities towards that. So understandably, I bet you it's still safe tune
overstock, but still very noticeable difference with performance. I will put the link for the product below, so if you like this, you want one, check that out. It's gonna be right underneath it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and then I'll catch you on the next video. We got some more Ruckus content coming up next. I got that built from New York, and then I got my personal one. So again, thank you guys for everything. Have a good one. Ride safe.